Introduction to Gender Gaps in African Agri-Food Economics. In African agri-food systems, gender inequality presents a significant economic challenge. Notably, this disparity costs the global economy nearly $1 trillion due to productivity and wage gaps. Therefore, addressing these inequalities could propel economic growth across the continent and enhance global food security. Indeed, fostering gender parity is not just a moral imperative but a financial one too. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, women have always worked in agri-food systems. It is time that we made agri-food systems work for women. FAO Director General Chu Dongyu. UN News. Thus, this article aims to unpack the economic repercussions of gender gaps in agriculture. Moreover, it will explore strategic solutions to bridge these gaps. As we delve into this discussion, we recognize the potential of gender equity to transform African economies fundamentally. Exploring the gender productivity gap in African agri-food systems. Gender disparities and economic impact in agriculture. In African agri-food systems, gender-based barriers significantly hinder women's economic potential. These barriers, primarily due to unequal access to resources and education, create a productivity gap between women and men on equally sized farms. This inequality not only restricts women's economic contributions, but also hampers broader economic growth across the continent. But in a new report, FAO says that gender inequalities such as less access for women to knowledge and resources, and a higher unpaid care burden, account for a 24% gap in productivity between women and men farmers on farms of equal size. UN News. Food safety standards and gender equality in agri-food. Moreover, the challenges extend beyond productivity, encompassing food safety concerns. Small and medium-sized enterprises, pivotal in African agri-food sectors, often struggle to meet international food safety standards. This difficulty highlights another layer of complexity in the gender equality battle within the agri-food sector and underscores the critical need for robust support systems to empower women comprehensively. But small and medium-sized companies in Africa struggle to meet international food safety standards, which often go above what is required on a national level. IPS News. Thus, addressing these multifaceted challenges requires a holistic approach. Furthermore, it necessitates collaboration between governments, private sectors, and non-governmental organizations. By tackling these issues, we pave the way for a more equitable and prosperous African agri-food system. Boosting economic growth by closing gender gaps in agriculture. Potential economic gains from gender parity. Impact of closing gender gaps in agriculture. This chart illustrates the potential global economic growth and reduction in food insecurity that could be achieved by addressing gender disparities in the agricultural sector. By closing these gaps, we see a potential GDP increase to 101% and a significant decrease in the number of food insecure people from 345 million to 300 million. Source: UN News. Addressing gender disparities in agriculture not only promotes fairness but also catalyzes significant economic growth. For instance, closing the productivity and wage gaps can surge global GDP. Moreover, this economic boost would enhance global food security and reduce poverty. Closing the gender gap in farm productivity and the wage gap in agricultural employment would increase global gross domestic product by nearly $1 trillion. UN News. Additionally, bridging these gaps ensures more sustainable development outcomes. Thus, achieving gender parity in agriculture is not only equitable but also economically prudent. Ripple effects on global food security. Furthermore, improving gender equality in agri-food systems significantly reduces the number of food insecure people. Indeed, better resource access for women can decrease global food insecurity by 45 million people. Therefore, empowering women in agriculture extends beyond individual benefits to global advancements. If we tackle the gender inequalities endemic in agri-food systems and empower women, the world will take a leap forward in addressing the goals of ending poverty and creating a world free from hunger. FAO Director General Chu Dongyu. UN News. Hence, the efforts to close gender gaps not only transform the agri-food sector but also bolster resilience against global food crises. Encouraging development and policy support. Supporting policies and interventions that foster gender equality is crucial. Similarly, investing in women's agricultural education and resource access propels economic and social development. Thus, these initiatives are essential for creating a fair and thriving agri-food sector. Strategic interventions for achieving gender parity in agri-food systems. Implementing policies for equitable resource access. Allocation of agricultural roles by gender. This stacked bar chart highlights the distribution of key agricultural roles among men and women, demonstrating significant gender disparities. Men dominate in areas such as land and livestock ownership and the use of irrigation and fertilizers. Meanwhile, women's participation in these areas remains significantly lower. Source: UN News. To eliminate gender disparities, introducing and enforcing equitable policies is crucial. Notably, these policies should ensure that women have equal access to land, credit, and technology. As a result, such measures can greatly enhance their productivity and economic stability. In many countries, there still is much to do to ensure that women own land in equal proportion to men and that legal frameworks protect their rights. UN News. Moreover, strengthening these policies supports sustainable development, promoting long-term economic growth across the continent. Educating and empowering women in agri-food. Furthermore, education and training for women in agri-food sectors are pivotal. These initiatives not only improve their skills but also boost their productivity significantly. Consequently, empowered women can drive innovation and growth within the sector. Additionally, targeted educational programs can break the cycle of poverty and increase women's agency, contributing to more resilient agri-food systems. Enhancing social protection and support systems. Lastly, enhancing social protection can safeguard women from economic shocks, especially during crises like the COVID-19 pandemic. By doing so, social protection programs can stabilize incomes and ensure continuous productivity. Social protection programs have shown to increase women's employment and resilience. UN News. Therefore, robust social protection is essential not only for supporting women during downturns, but also for maintaining the stability of the agri-food systems in which they operate. Catalyzing growth by empowering women in agri-food. In summary, addressing gender inequality in African agri-food systems presents a formidable opportunity for economic and social advancement. Importantly, closing gender gaps not only enhances women's lives, but also boosts the entire continent's economic stability and food security. Moreover, the integration of gender parity into agri-food policies and practices is essential for sustainable development. Consequently, these actions pave the way for a more equitable and prosperous future for all. Thus, it is imperative that stakeholders across all levels, from local communities to global leaders, commit to implementing and supporting measures that foster gender equality. Therefore, let us champion these changes, not just for the sake of fairness, but for the enduring benefits they bring to our global community. About the author. Darius Spearman, a professor of Black Studies at San Diego City College, has been a passionate educator and advocate for social justice since 2007. He is the author of several influential books, including Between the Color Lines, A History of African Americans on the California Frontier through 1890. Spearman's commitment to education and empowerment extends beyond the classroom, impacting communities through insightful analysis and impactful storytelling. Visit Darius online at africanelements.org.